Good evening. Before we move on to the final session of this edition of Lit for Life, I would like to say a big thank you to our wonderful audiences for making the festival a resounding success. Your tremendous support encourages us to plan bigger and more meaningful editions of Lit for Life in future. I'd like to thank our distinguished authors, members of the Hindu Prize jury, and panelists for making this an enriching literary experience. The festival was significant in bringing together the literary fraternity in an impressive show of solidarity with Perumal Murugan. We thank every one of you for endorsing our resolution of support. Our program director and consultants have crafted together an eclectic fare over 3 days. Thank you, Rachna. Thank you, Prasanna. Our sponsors have partnered with us to bring the festival to you. Our thanks go out to Mr. Shankar Narayan of Aircel, our title sponsor. Aircel has rolled out special offers for every registered participant. Thanks also to Hindustan University, Taj Coromandel Chennai, NTL Taxis, VBJ Jewelers, Krish Kumar of Mutta Venkata Subbarao Concert Hall, and Starmark, who have come on board as sponsors. A big thanks to Kriya Shakti for some great performances by our college students. Thanks also to our young team of live bloggers and volunteers from colleges in the city. My colleagues in the Hindu from the editorial, marketing, events, brand, circulation have gone all out to ensure smooth conduct of Lit for Life. A big thanks to all of them. And finally, let's put our hands together for a big round of applause to the force behind this show. Dr. Nirmala Lakshman, Curator, Lit for Life. Thank you for giving us 5 glorious years of literature and 3 glorious days of Lit for Life. Thank you.
The finale to this year's Lit for Life is Lotus Leaves, Water Words, a reading performance directed by Prasanna Ramaswamy. The participants are P.C. Ramakrishnan, Anita Ratnam, Sushila Ravindranath, R. Rohini, Revathy Kumar, Nellai Manikandan, Anandh Kumar, and Niran Benjamin.
As they are setting up the sound for guitar and the drums, I will use these minutes to thank the Hindu Lit for Life and Nirmala Lakshman for giving us this opportunity to share this work with you all. And I would also like to thank many people from Nirmala Lakshman's team, but I can't name everybody, at least a few I will, but the rest of the team also has helped us to put it up here today with our tech performance 2 evenings before. Shalini, Kritika, and Lata, and Rajesh. But there are many others. And I would sincerely like to thank the people from the Lady Andal house. Mr. Shan has warned me that I should not say only the few names, but there are many. But still I would like to acknowledge Mr. Srinivasan on lights and Mr. Shan with sound and Mr. Krish who brought them together, and many young, really sweethearts, boys, and all the volunteers. I'd just like to share, as we seem to have in some more moments, about this work. Some of you, I hope, would have seen what we did last year here. It was Flora and Fauna from Tamil literature, where we traced the literature since 2000 years before till now, using the river Kaveri as a recurrent motif from the 7th century onwards. We had Silapadikaram and we had Perumbanaatru Padai up to Kandasamy Sayavanam, and then from as a parallel to the shepherd community from Perumbanaatru Padai, we had Perumal Murugan's text, Kulamadari, excerpts from it. The same Perumal Murugan who's going through what we know now. So this year, you read it in the program, those are the source texts. I don't want to speak about what we are going to do because you have to see it. But I would also like to use this opportunity to thank all our actors who have given their time so generously to bring this work together. And I would like to thank Anita Ratnam for playing such a gracious host and extended hospitality to all our rehearsals at her space. And it's such a pleasure to perform before you. Thank you all for being here.
In his work published in 220 AD, The Life of Apollonius of Tyana, Philastratus reports, and they allowed Apollonius to ask questions. And he asked them of what they thought the cosmos was composed. And they replied, of the elements.
Are there then 4? He asked.
Not 4, said the Arsha, but 5.
And how can there be a 5th? Apollonius asked. Alongside of water and air, and earth and fire.
There is the ether, replied the other, which we must regard as the stuff of which gods are made. For just as mortal creatures inhale air, so do divine beings and immortal creatures inhale the ether.
Apollonius again asked which was the first of the elements.
All are simultaneous, said the Arsha, for living beings are not created bit by bit.
Am I, said Apollonius, to regard the universe as a living creature?
Yes, replied the other, if you have a sound knowledge of it, for it engenders all living beings. Thus, by a dialogue between Iarsha and Apollonius, we find that the evidence of the knowledge of the 5 elements can be found in India, predating Greece.
The Pancha Mahabhuta, or 5 great elements, are earth, water, fire, air, and ether. That all of creation, including the human body, is made up of these 5 essential elements, and that upon death, the human body dissolves into these 5 elements of nature, thereby balancing the cycle of nature, is a belief that rests on such a philosophy.
Additionally, other cultures included the elements of wood and metal, like the ancient Chinese people. And among some of the native people of North America, frost was regarded as an important element, over and above the other 4.
Apollonius resumed by asking which they considered the bigger, the land or the sea.
If the land be considered in relation to the sea, it will be found to be bigger, for it includes the sea itself. But if it is regarded in relation to the entire mass of water, then the earth will be found to be the lesser of the 2, for it is upheld by water.
Sani sari gari re sani sari mare ma pani ma pa ma pani ma pare ma pani ni pa mani pa ma pa mari gari sa re ma pani ma pani Re ma pa ni pa 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 ma pa ni pa ma pa ni pa ma pa ni pa ma ni pa ma pa ma re ga re sa re ma pa ni ma pa ni sa pa ni sa re ga re sa ni pa pa re sa ni pa pa za ni pa ma ni pa ni sa ni ga re sa re sa ni pa re sa ni pa sa ni pa ma ni pa re sa ni pa pa ma re ga re sa Ri Ra.
O water, because of your presence, the atmosphere is so refreshing and imparts us with vigor and strength. We revere you, who gladdens us by your pure essence.
Auspicious sap of yours, please share with us, like a mother desiring to share her best possession with her children.
O water, when your invigorating essence goes to one affected by weakness, it enlivens him. O water, you are the source of our lives.
O
water, may the divinity in water dwell in the farmlands. O water, I implore you to give nutrition to the crops.
Abohishta bhuvasta na urja dadhatana maheranata chakshase maheranata chakshase यो वह शिवतमो रसस्तस्य वाजयते हनः उशतीरिव मातरः उशतीरिव मातरः तस्मागरं गमाम वो यस्य क्षयाय जिन्वता जिन्वता जनयता जनः ईशानां वार्याणां चयन्तिस् चर्षणीनाम् अपोयाजामि वेषजौ तकरिनताम् तकरिनताम् वरुणसन्धि पाशायुतमुदलि वाहन कालिकादेवी सहितमय धरणि कुंड्र मकरादि जलाधिप मकरादि जल कर्तराम अवर्क वाद्यम सिंहनंदम तजम जम तजम तजम तहरिकिटतम वराळि सगरिग मपदनिसा कुञ्जितनृतं पताकशिखरं तत्तन तजनुनव तालतोड श्रीकामर पण्विलङ्गिये वरुणराज सन्दिको तुवमे
No longer it is like what it was before.
The first bird that ushers the spring, never had I seen it.
Whoever has,
Neither had I seen that first leaf, that which had brought along the autumn.
drifted on with the wind or floated along the river, nevertheless, unannounced creeps in the cold, swiftly passes the day, and descends the dusk quickly.
As the waves sleep and the leaves change color, on the shores of the lake which the birds have deserted, sweeps the strong wind suddenly, stripping the trees.
Turning its face away from the water, leaning in the opposite direction, caressing the earth with its long branches, is that tree to which I asked.
What is this hatred towards the water?
This great water is no longer the same. Even to gaze at my own reflection in its face scares me. From deep blue to dense green, it kept changing over those days that are gone forever.
In high winter, when even the wind freezes, this water refuses to freeze. There is poison mixed up in its life.
For the birds to walk across, there were big leaves of ocean lotus plants, which have disappeared.
The goldfish and the star flowers, the blue-feeted tortoises have been eaten up by the salt.
From this bank to the other, in huge lengths, the hot pipes are running underneath, tearing the water body, breaking the icy rocks. They make their path, be it day, be it night.
Be it day, be it night, 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 be it day, be it night.
Be it day, be it night. Run the ships in the trails and traces of the oil.
Trails and traces of oil.
Struggles the water body for a breath.
Sarigapada Pagada Pariga Gapada Pagari Sarigapada Pagapada Sa Dasari Sada Dagari Sada Dari Sada Dasara Paga Padasari Ga Gadari Sa Riri Sada Sasada Pa Dada Paga Papagari Sariga Pada Sari Sada Pagari Riga Pada Sada Pagari Da Sariga Pada Da Sada Dapa Pagar Gariga Pagari
பொன் மீனையும் நட்சத்திர பூவையும் நீலக்காலாமையையும் உப்பு தின்றொழித்து விட்டது. பொன் மீனையும் நட்சத்திர பூவையும் நீலக்காலாமையையும் உப்பு தின்றொழித்து விட்டது. வசந்தத்தை சொன்ன முதற் பறவையை நான் கண்டதில்லை.
யார் கண்டார்கள்?
இலையுதிர் காலத்தை கூட்டி வந்த முதல் இலையையும் கண்டதில்லை. காற்றோடு போயிற்றா, ஆற்றோடு போயிற்றா, காற்றோடு போயிற்றா, ஆற்றோடு போயிற்றா என்றாலும் சொல்லாமல் வருகிறது இளம் குளிர். பகல் குறுக பொழுதுபடும் நேரம் விரைவில் இறங்குகிறது. பகல் குறுக பொழுதுபடும் நேரம் விரைவில் இறங்குகிறது. அலைகள் உறங்க, இலைகள் நிறம் மாற, பறவைகளற்ற வாவிக்கரையில், பறவைகளற்ற வாவிக்கரையில் அலைகள் உறங்க, இலைகள் நிறம் மாற, பறவைகளற்ற வாவிக்கரையில், பறவைகளற்ற வாவிக்கரையில் அலைகள் உறங்க, அலைகள் உறங்க, இலைகள் நிறம் மாற,
இலைகள் நிறம் மாற,
பறவைகளற்ற வாவிக்கரையில், பறவைகளற்ற வாவிக்கரையில் திடீரென வீசிய பெருங்காற்று நீருக்கு முகம் திருப்பி எதிர்ப்புறம் சாய்ந்து நிலத்தை வருடிக் கொண்டிருக்கும் ஒரு மரத்தை கேட்டேன். நீருக்கு முகம் திருப்பி எதிர்ப்புறம் சாய்ந்து நிலத்தை வருடிக் கொண்டிருக்கும் ஒரு மரத்தை கேட்டேன். நீரிடம் என்ன வெறுப்பு? நீரிடம் என்ன வெறுப்பு? இந்த நன்னீர் முன்பு போல அல்ல.
இதன் முகத்தில் எனது நிழலை பார்க்கவே அச்சம் எழுகிறது.
இந்த நன்னீர் முன்பு போல அல்ல. இதன் முகத்தில் என் நிழலை பார்க்கவே அச்சம் எழுகிறது. ஆழ்ந்த நீலமும் அடர்ந்த பச்சையும் என மாறி மாறி துலங்கிய நாட்கள் தொலைந்து விட்டன. பெருங்குளிரில் காற்று உறைந்தாலும் உறைய மறுக்கிறது நீர். அதன் உயிரில் நஞ்சு கலந்து கிடக்கிறது.
அதன் உயிரில் நஞ்சு கலந்து கிடக்கிறது.
அதன் உயிரில் நஞ்சு கலந்து கிடக்கிறது. பறவைகள் நடந்து செல்ல என பெரிய இலை விரித்து படர்ந்து கிடந்த கடல் தாமரைகள் அழிந்து விட்டன. பொன் மீனையும் நட்சத்திர பூவையும் நீலக்காலாமையும் உப்பு தின்றொழித்து விட்டது. நீண்டு நீண்டு
வெப்பக்குழாய்கள்
அடியில் ஓடுகின்றன. இக்கரையில் இருந்து அக்கரை வரையிலும் நீண்டு நீண்டு வெப்பக்குழாய்கள் அடியில் ஓடுகின்றன. நீரின் உடலை கிழித்து பனிப்பாறைகளை பிளந்து அவை செய்து தருகின்ற பாதையில் இரவு பகலற்று பயணிக்கின்றன பெரும் கப்பல்கள்.
இரவு பகலற்று பயணிக்கின்றன பெரும் கப்பல்கள்.
அவை பதிக்கும் எண்ணெய் தடங்களில் வாவியின் உயிர் துடிக்கிறது.
எல்லாம் முன்பு போல அல்ல.
எல்லாம் முன்பு போல அல்ல. எல்லாம் முன்பு போல அல்ல. நிச்சயமற்று அச்சத்துடன் நிலம் நோக்கி திரும்புகிறேன்.
இங்கேயும் பனிப்பாறையின் பயங்கரம் என்கிறது மரம்.
காடுகளின் உயிரை தன் வேரிலும் காற்றின் ஆத்மாவை தன் மூச்சிலும் சுமந்து நிற்கிறது இப்பெரும் மரம். வார்த்தைகள் இல்லாவிட்டாலும் அதன் மூச்சில் இருக்கிறது வரலாறுகளின் பேச்சு. மண் திணிந்த நிலனும் நிலமேந்திய விசும்பும் விசும்பு தைவரு வழியும் வழித்தலைய தீயும் தீ முரணிய நீரும் என்றாங்கு ஐம்பெரும் பூதத்து இயற்கை போல போற்றார் பொறுத்தலும் சூழ்ச்சியது அகலமும் அலியும் தெரலும் வழியும் உடையோய். இது புறநானூர்ல ஒரு புலவர் மன்னனை நோக்கி பாடியதாக சொல்லப்படுகிறது. நிலமும் அதை ஏந்தி நிற்கும் வானமும் வானத்தில் கலந்திருக்கும் காற்றும் காற்றில் அலையும் தீயும் தீ கொண்டு வரும் ஆன போதிலும் அதனோடு முரண்டும் நீருமாக இருக்கும் இயற்கை எப்படி தன்னை போற்றாதவர்களையும் பொறுத்து விரிந்த மனப்பாங்குடன் இருக்கிறதோ அப்படிப்பட்ட தன்மையுடையவனாக இருக்கிறாய் என்று மன்னனை நோக்கி பாடியதாக சொல்லப்படுகிறது.
The word dharma is interpreted as ecological balance in Indian thought. The king was the administrator of dharma. He was guided by this principle of balance, harmonizing the relationships between the various kingdoms, animal, vegetable, mineral, nature, and man, various groups and administrative units. Dharma was the underlying principle for the social, political, and economic relations in a state, and this principle was extended to the earth and its products. We catch a glimpse of this knowledge of ecological balance in the coronation oath administered to a king.
Between the night I am born and the night I die, whatever good I might have done, my heaven, my life, my progeny, may I be deprived of it if I oppress you. Mother Prithvi, earth, injure me not, nor I thee.
It was a bounden duty of the king to see to it that the earth was not subjected to undue strain, her resources not unduly depleted. The earth was the mother. She sustained life with her products.
When Raja Babu took over, there was celebration in every home. Ghee-filled diyas were lit, a festive dinner cooked, a feast organized.
If our Bhaiya is king, we are kings, said Bhaiyalal. Each and every man in Jambudweep is king.
Don't think of this place as just Assi Ghat. This is Delhi of Jambudweep. You well know the public's plight. You are Bhaiya, Babu, my Bab. You are wise, knowledgeable, and sensible. You know what you have to do. What else is there to be said?
Sleepless nights, unquiet days for Raja Babu. What was to be done to eradicate poverty? The king's woe is the public's woe, is Bhaiyalal's woe.
The woe is that on whose command does the wind blow?
On whose order does rain fall?
Who tells the sun to rise and set?
These are the real issues. Solve them and all your problems are over.
Raja Babu asked his advisors,
Asked his ministers.
asked his think tank.
Everybody said there was nothing to be done.
After all, who can control God?
God. Catch him. Don't let God get away.
The maze bearers ran around. Spies, courtiers, police, they all ran around.
But God is untraceable.
Nowhere to be seen.
Not to be found.
Where is God?
Found or not found.
What happens next?
At some people the Raja shouted, at others he talked.
Those he talked did not send messengers all over the place.
They sent the mafia with an entire arsenal.
Go and wherever he is, bring him here with all due respect.
At that time, God was in Ayodhya. He had just stepped out of the mandir and was on his way to the masjid to offer namaz when he was surrounded, abducted, and brought to Mumbai.
A 5-star hotel in Mumbai. At the back is a swimming pool as wide as a lake.
In the middle, there is a temple.
God is seated in that temple.
Before him are tycoons from the west, the east, the north, and the south.
They were engrossed in a conversation.
God appeared cowed down, as though he were a prisoner.
He said, "What is devotion without fear? After all, these were my only weapons: wind, water, sun, and cold. They were the curse and the boon. Every creature feared them. And you people want to take them away?"
Bhagwan, please be sensible. Don't get agitated or angry. Whether you articulate it or not, we understand your position.
You have seen some terrible times in the past.
If the atheists and communists had had their way, where would you have been? They had all but demolished you. If not for us, how many were left who even bothered about you?
Temples, mosques, and churches, they were all in a sorry state.
Fear. Fear was rampant.
Except us. How many were left who would even stop by your door?
You were sitting around, swatting flies.
"Did you abduct me just to make me listen to all this?" said God.
What are you talking, Prabhu?
Would we have the audacity to capture you? Who else is there but you, before whom we can cry out our sorrows?
Bhagwan, keep a cool head. Look at it this way. Your earlier houses are in a ramshackle state. They need to be repaired. You need new houses.
That is a separate matter.
Everybody needs food and drink.
The only way to meet the requirements is through offerings. Some of your lot are entangled in property disputes. They have to be freed.
If you don't think of all these matters, who else is going to do it?
"So, you want to make a deal?" said God.
Bhagwan, apart from making deals, we know not much else.
Am I such a fool that I don't understand your motives and the temptation you are throwing at me? However, I understand the public mind much better than you. The subjects do whatever the Raja does. They have faith only in their Raja, not in tycoons who hoard money.
What if the Raja does what we want?
Talk to the Raja first and then talk to me.
We aren't going to let you go just like that.
You can't leave us to suffer like this.
If you understand the public mind, then we understand the Raja.
We need you.
But the Raja needs us even more. Without us, there is no Raja. Without us, there is no Raja.
God noticed that the doors to the temple were shut and armed gods stood outside. Beyond them was the lake. He stood up and almost immediately sat down. Seeing no way out, he got irritated. "This is the limit. I'm fed up of your lot. Be it air or water, whatever it is, make money. First pollute it and make money. Then clean it up and make money. How long will this state of affairs go on?"
Both opponents were equally quick and clever.
Hard-headed.
God had seen that all over the land, smoke from mills and factories had shrouded the sky day by day, and air had become dirty, streams and rivers poisoned. All through the day and night, sirens blared, loudspeakers, radios, horns screamed away as if to render the outer space deaf and lifeless. Nothing was going to remain unpolluted for long.
However, there was a good chance. If God made the deal now, it would be to his advantage. The day wasn't too far off when nobody would give a damn about him.
On the other hand, the tycoons were viewing it as now or never. If we were in his place, we might have held out a little longer.
What's the big hurry anyway? The rates are going to go up.
It looks as if he had never envisaged a day when these things that keep a man alive, this air, water, sunlight, cold, would be sold in packets, cartons, bottles, polythene bags, just like other commodities.
Whoever wanted to live would have to pay the quoted price or die.
Both sides understood the needs and compulsions of each other.
God was helpless, and tycoons unyielding on the point that hard or soft, the deal had to be struck.
It was to everyone's advantage.
Who knows how long this earth may last?
Everywhere,
Who knows how long this earth may last?
Everywhere, all media had one news. The news that they carried was of the convention.
At the same time, a dinner, too, was arranged at a five-star hotel. But no mention of this in the newspapers. It was hosted by the four tycoons. The guest list included a representative of the government, the finance minister.
In the open convention, the Raja Babu delivered a speech. A terrific speech. That in this century itself, some of the world's nations have already progressed, but we are far behind. That we have a lot to accomplish, a long way to go. We have to do this and that. There was a time when we showed the way to the rest of the world and gifted them the light of knowledge, taught them culture and etiquette. It is now time to repeat that performance. That it is our humble request to the world at large, that they invest money in our development activities and help us march into the future.
This speech was for the press.
In New York, London, Paris, and Tokyo, the newspapers welcomed it greatly. Can't figure out what there was in this speech to receive such a tremendous response.
However, there was the most important meeting behind the closed doors with the Wazir in charge of the finances.
In Juhu, Marine Drive and other seashores, from wherever the monsoon approaches, we have built towering structures, buildings so high that not a single cloud can stray in from any direction.
We would collect all kinds of clouds, seasonal, unseasonal, grey, black, red, white, damp, dry. Sort them out and hoard them.
Hoard them!
Hoard them! Hoard them!
Depending on the type of rain that was needed, the corresponding clouds will be sent out. For heavy rain, dark clouds. For light rain, grey clouds. For shade alone, light, fluffy clouds.
We can achieve the same effect through waterways. Rivers, canals, dams, rivulets, tube wells, etc.
What we would like to know from you is how you can help us, and these matters shall be considered, the Wazir said. Do go on.
We have only this to add. The cloud will dare not sweep away village after village. But that depends entirely on you. Otherwise, the cloud will sweep away, render dry, or kill too. That's all I have to say.
The sun has fallen into our lot, and we have no regrets. After a great deal of hard work, it is now in our power. It is so large that it cannot be contained in a single blast furnace. So several furnaces had to be constructed in different cities.
It was exorbitantly expensive, but understand this. The day and night are now in our hands. You are the government. Tell us what you wish.
Say day, and it shall be day.
Don't say it. And it shall be night. Darkness.
What is there for us to do here? If it shines, you shine. If it is extinguished, you too are finished.
The matter is of mutual interest.
We understand it.
And so do you.
He had barely finished when the third tycoon began to speak. As soon as he started talking about the air and atmosphere, the spread of diseases and gas leaks, the Wazir's mouth turned dry. He was dumbstruck when he heard the tycoon saying that the air means prana, prana means heart, heart means heart attack. He thrust his fingers into his ears and blurted out, "I understand everything, you don't have to explain. The main consideration is the public."
Just as you are not your own masters, neither are we. There are people above us in the north, south, west, Germany, America, Japan. Just give us a yes or a no.
Our shareholders, suppliers, and agents across cities and towns are waiting impatiently for your reply.
Oh yes, this much we can tell you. The godowns are fully stocked with these goods, and if you want to export them, there is adequate stock. There will be no shortage.
The Wazir interrupted. I think the public...
What public are you going on about? The tycoon with the contract for the rain burst out.
Is this a press conference?
If you must talk of the public, go and do it in the Ram Leela ground or the Red Fort.
As it is in the Lok Sabha, you do enough of it.
You may have time to spare. We don't.
If the terms are acceptable, it is fine.
Otherwise, go and start preparing for the midterm elections. It will become clear there who cares about the public, we or you.
This is an excerpt from the story Kaun Thagua Nagariya Lutal Ho by Kashinath Singh. Let us take a look at what Sainath of the People's Archives of Rural India says.
Every apartment is a dream come true, the coronet that tops the king-sized lifestyle of true blue blood.
So run the ads.
Yup, the blue bloods do it big. Each apartment has its own private swimming pool.
These are, after all, super luxurious, super-sized designer apartments, the kind that match the royal lifestyles.
There are also the villas the builders proudly announce as their first gated community project.
And yes, each of them ranging from 9,000 to 22,000 square feet, that also offers its own private swimming pool.
In yet another building coming up, the duplex penthouses will each have, you guessed it, private swimming pools.
These are just in Pune alone. All of them with other amenities needing still more water.
A small but proud trend, with the promise of more to come.
All of them in regions of a state lamenting their greatest drought in 40 years.
In a state where thousands of villages now depend on visits from water tankers.
A daily visit if you're lucky.
Once or twice a week if you're not.
Yet it's as if there's no connection between the swimming pools and the drying lakes.
There's very little discussion about it for sure.
As little as there was during the 2 decades when the state rejoiced in the spread of dozens of water parks and water-themed entertainment parks.
At one point, a score of them in the greater Mumbai region alone.
Across the drought-hit regions of the state, despair grows. Over 7,000 villages are drought or scarcity hit officially. Of those declared as affected, some will get a bit of help. The government runs water tanker visits for them.
Thousands of others make direct deals with private tankers.
Close to 500,000 animals are dependent on cattle camps.
Distress sales of cattle go on briskly too.
Water in many reservoirs is below 15%. In some it is close to dead storage levels, but far more than the searing drought of 1972. This is a man-made one.
There have been huge diversions of water in the last 15 years to industrial projects.
And to private companies also in the lifestyle business.
To cities from villages.
Blood has been shed over such transfers, as in Marvel in 2011, when police fired on angry farmers, killing 3 and wounding 19 others. They were protesting the government acquiring their land for a water pipeline from the Pavna Dam to Pimpri Chinchwad. The scale of water loss this implied drew thousands more into the protests as well.
The state's response at the time was to book around 1,200 people for attempted murder.
And for rioting as well.
The trends in diversion for lifestyle entertainment, though, are not new.
In 2005, a huge fun and food village water and amusement park popped up in Nagpur rural district. That in a period of real water stress. The fun village had 18 kinds of water rides. It also had India's first snowdrome, along with an ice rink. It is not easy to maintain snow and ice in 47 degrees heat. That took huge amounts of electricity in a region seeing 15-hour power cuts.
It also guzzled massive amounts of water.
Maharashtra is also a state that added quite a few golf courses in the past decade or so. It now has 22, with more in the pipeline.
Golf courses use huge amounts of water. This has often sparked conflicts with farmers in the past.
Golf courses worldwide also use vast amounts of pesticide that can seep into and affect the water of others as well.
No state has spent more money to create less irrigation.
The Economic Survey 2011 to 12 found that land under irrigation had gone up by just 0.1% of land in a whole decade.
Which still means that less than 18% of cropped area in the state is irrigated.
And that's after spending tens of billions of rupees to produce many millionaires and very little irrigation.
The major transfers of water to industry also come in a time of agricultural decline.
Even as food crop declines, fully 2/3 of Maharashtra's sugarcane is grown in drought-prone or water-scarce areas.
The sugar factories there together use up to 90 lakh liters a day.
The water needed for 1 acre of sugarcane can irrigate 10 to 12 acres of food crops like jowar. More than half of Maharashtra's irrigation water goes to this crop, which takes just 6% of the cultivated area.
Sugarcane requires 180 acre inches of water, That is 18 million liters per acre.
18 million liters can meet the domestic water needs of 3,000 rural households for a month.
That's based on a modest 40 liters a day per person.
This in regions where the water table falls every year.
That has not deterred Maharashtra from encouraging rose cultivation, a very tiny trend but growing swiftly with the promise of more to come. Roses need even more water. They need 212 acre inches, which is 21.2 million liters of water per acre.
In the last 15 years, the only regulatory frameworks the state has put in place led to greater privatization of water, to quicker loss of community control over this natural resource.
One that is rapidly depleting.
At the same time, the unchecked exploitation of groundwater has made things a lot worse.
This is not a story. The situation is not unique to one province or one state in this country.
Medini Devi Vasundara Syad Vasuda Devi Vasavi Medini Devi Vasundara Syad Vasuda Devi Vasavi.
Land surrounded by water is great. The goddess of the earth holds wealth beneath the land, holds wealth amidst the sea, and is within the sea eternally. She gives food and wealth to all without discrimination, again and again. Without discrimination.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி எங்கும் நீ நிறைந்தாய் பூதமைந்துமானாய் காளி பொறிகளைந்துமானாய்.
இவ்வுலகம் இனியது, இதில் உள்ள வான் இனிமையுடைத்து,
காற்றும் இனிது,
தீ இனிது,
நீர் இனிது,
நிலம் இனிது,
ஞாயிறு நன்று,
திங்களும் நன்று, வானத்து சுடர்கள் எல்லாம் இனியன.
மழை இனிது, இடி இனிது, மின்னல் இனிது,
கடல் இனிது, மலை இனிது, காடு நன்று.
ஆறுகள் இனியன.
யாதுமாகி நின்றாய் காளி எங்கும் நீ நிறைந்தாய். தக 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 தகவென்றாடுமோ சிவசக்தி சக்தி சக்தி என்று பாடுமோ.
உடல் நன்று, புலன்கள் மிகவும் இனியன.
உயிர் சுவியடையது, மனம் தேன், அறிவு தேன்,
உணர்வு அமுதம்,
உணர்வே அமுதம், உணர்வு தெய்வம்.
சொல்லில் விளங்கும் சுடரே சக்தி, சொல்லில் விளங்கும் சுடரே சக்தி.
சக்தி கூத்திலே ஒளி ஒரு தாளம்.
தனத தீம் தீம் தத்தீம் ததீம் தனனன தனத தீம் தீம் தத்தீம் ததீம் தனனன தனத தீம் தீம் தத்தீம் ததீம். தாழ்வு தடுக்கும் சதிரே சக்தி, தாழ்வு தடுக்கும் சதிரே சக்தி. தீ tananadim dim tananadim 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 dim tananadim 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 dim tananadim வீழ்வு தடுக்கும் விரலே சக்தி வீழ்வு தடுக்கும் விரலே சக்தி தாம் தனனதீம் தகஜணுததீம் தனனனதாம் தனனதீம் தகஜணுததீம் சகமதனி தாம் தனனதீம் தகஜணுததீம் இழக்கும் விரிவே சக்தி வீணையளக்கும் விரிவே சக்தி தாம் தனனதீம் தகஜணுததீம் சகமதனிதாம் தனனதீம் தகஜணுததீம் சனிதமகதாம் தனனதீம் தகஜணுததீம் உள்ளத்தொளிரும் விளக்கே சக்தி உள்ளத்தொளிரும் விளக்கே சக்தி
We sing with our light.
We are the birds of fire.
Our light is a voice.
The inner.
Look at your feet.
What is it if not intensified sky, hurled through with birds and deep with the winds of homecoming?
Look at your feet. You are standing in the sky. When we think of the sky, we tend to look up. But the sky actually begins at the earth.
The most common link is that we all inhabit this planet.
We all breathe the same air.
We all cherish our children's future.
And we're all mortal.
வாழிய செந்தமிழ் வாழ்க நற்றமிழர் வாழிய பாரத மணித்திருநாடு இன்றமை வருத்தும் இன்னல்கள் மாய்க நன்மை வந்து இதுக தீது நகலுக அறம் வளர்ந்திடுக மரம் மடி உருக அறம் வளர்ந்திடுக மரம் மடி உருக எங்கள் வாழ்வும் எங்கள் வளமும் வாழிய 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 வாழியவே
I need 1 minute of your indulgence in my thanks. I forgot to say something. I would like to acknowledge Prabhasri Devan, who clarified the pronunciation for the Rigveda verses, and also Pradeep Chakravarti. I don't know whether he's here. He gave me the essence of the translation of the Bhu Suktam, which I was looking for. Thank you both, and thank you all of you. See you in the next festival.